This video is made possible by VideoHive.net. Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we will be creating a very cool looking Instagram story animation inside of After Effects without using any kind of plugins, just 100% After Effects and some simple techniques. So without any further ado, let's jump into the tutorial and get started. Now, if you guys want to create Instagram stories in just one click, then make sure to check out the Create Pack After Effects template from a VideoHive author, Aloha FX. They have created a really great collection of animation, including the Instagram stories and social media elements. For more information, you can check out the link in the description below. Alright guys, here we are in After Effects. Let's start by creating a new composition. I'm gonna call this story. Make the width 1080. And height to 1920. Let's make this 30 FPS and 15 seconds long. Hit OK. Then let's duplicate this composition, hit Ctrl D and rename this to image. You can of course use any image or video, whatever that you want to use. Let's jump into the image composition and drag in the image that we want to use. So I'll use this one that I downloaded from the unsplash.com. So I'm gonna position this. Let's go back into our main comp, drag and drop that image, and let's give it a nice and simple animation. So I'll move this to 2 seconds, hit S to bring down the scale properties, create a keyframe, go forward, and let's scale this up to 20, oh not 20 but 200%, and we have a nice and simple animation. Let's select the keyframes and hit F9 on the keyboard to ease the keyframes. Go into the graph editor and right click, select edit speed graph, select this point, hold Control and drag this keyframe just by dragging the handles like so. So we have a nice animation, as you can see, nice and smooth. Maybe 2 seconds is a bit too much, so I'll move this keyframe a bit closer to like 1 second and 15 frames. Yep, that looks good. Let's also add a nice background. So hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid. I'm going to make this white. Hit OK. Let's actually call this overlay because this is going to work as an overlay instead of a background. And then I'll also animate the opacity of our image. So hit T to bring down the opacity, create a keyframe, go forward in time, go backward in time actually, and let's set this to 0. Select this and hit F9 to ease it. Let's select the keyframes, hit U, and I'll move the opacity keyframe to 1 second. And now we have something like this, looking pretty good. Now let's go ahead and create a new adjustment layer. Call this blur and go into effects and presets. So I'll go into Windows and find my effects and preset panel and type in fast blur. So I'll go with the fast blur. Let's increase the blur amount really high. Repeat edge pixels. So yeah, maybe something like around 90 looks good. And then what I'm going to do is let's create a new composition and call this reveal and create a matte for our blur. So let's go into the reveal composition, select the pen tool, and I'll set the stroke to around somewhere around, let's go with 135. And then not randomly actually, create a zigzag pattern like so for the stroke. So now we have something like that. And now I can adjust the stroke accordingly the way I want it. So I'll just make it a bit bigger, try to create some nice variations. Something like that. Maybe increase the stroke a bit. Now, before we proceed further with this tutorial, I would like to take a minute and introduce you guys to VideoHive.net. The motion graphic junkies like me are ought to know about VideoHive, but if you don't know it yet, no worries. I'll make sure you just not know about it, but also get the most out of it. So VideoHive is a part of Envato Market, which is a huge marketplace for creative assets, in which VideoHive specifically provides assets related to motion graphics. At VideoHive, you are exposed to a sheer number of motion graphics templates for After Effects, Premiere Pro, Cinema 4D, Final Cut Pro that you can also purchase to use in your projects and make them look super professional and attractive as you can. To be specific, you can find titles, openers, lower thirds, elements, infographics, logo strings, overlays, transitions, slideshows, and much more. So make sure to check out thevideohive.net. The link will be in the description below. Okay, and then go into Fix and Preset and type in Roughen Edges. Double click to apply that up. Let's increase the border really high. Let's go with something like maybe 175 should work good. So it's pretty intense. Also increase the complexity all the way up to 10, and then go into the stretch and width height. Let's increase that to get a really nice texture. As you can see, maybe increase the scale a bit. Let's go with something like maybe 200. Okay, that looks good. You can always go into the shape layer. Let's actually call this line and go into the path, so I can change the way it looks. So I can just select this and move this point like so. Something like that, and go ahead and add a trim path so we can animate the stroke like so. Alright, so I'll go to around maybe 1 second and 15 frames, set the end property to 100, create a keyframe, go back and set this to 0. Select it and hit F9 to easy ease it. So now we have a very nice and simple animation, as you can see. Now let's go back into our story comp, that is our main composition, drag and drop it onto the top of the blur adjustment layer and change the track matte of the blur adjustment layer to alpha inverted. And now you can see we get this really nice texture. Now, if you don't see the track matte option, you can hit F4 on the keyboard, but you can also adjust the way it reveals. So right now it's revealing like so. Maybe I'll move the reveal composition to around 15 frames forward in time. So something like that. So right now I want to adjust some settings here. So I'll increase the sharpness first of all. Let's set this to actually 2. In fractal influence, you can play around with that as well, but 1 is the higher amount. And also increase the scale a bit. So I'll increase the scale maybe around 300. That looks good. Increase this height like so. And you can play around with the evolution as well in case if you want to achieve a different effect. But I think this is looking pretty good. So yeah, pretty happy with the look. As you can see, this is looking really cool. Okay, let's create a new edge. Let's actually go onto the blur layer and add some glow to this. So I'll select the layer, go into Fix and Preset and type in glow. Double click to apply that up. Make sure the fast blur is below the glow and bring down the threshold and increase the radius, glow radius a bit. So yep, that is looking great. But right now it doesn't give the feel of a mirror effect, as you can see. So we can add a nice texture on this. So here I have a nice texture. I can drag and drop it onto the top. Let's set this to screen. Rotate this to 90 degrees and scale this up. Just like so. Now I can bring down the opacity a bit because it just a touch, and that is looking very nice, as you can see. Now it gives a sense of a mirror effect. See, it looks super cool. One more cool thing that I can do is if I go into the image and add a little bit of scale animation to this image, so I can create a keyframe right here, go to 15 seconds and increase the scale just a touch. So our image is not still. You can see we have a nice small movement to our image. Looking cool. Now what I can do is let's create a new adjustment layer. Call this CC for color correction and add a simple curves adjustment to this, just to make the colors pop a little like so. And then I can add my text. So I'll select the text tool and you can type in, of course, anything that you want. I'm just gonna type in, what was it? New on the blog. Type in new on the blog. And by the way, if you guys are not aware of this, you can check out our website for some amazing blogs, some free resources, and many other different things. So I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and check out my website. We have a complete redesign of the website. So yeah, it's much more, convenient to browse through all the tutorials and resources, some free resources, freebies, and some amazing stuff. By the way, I'm going to use the Harmony font. Looks super nice on this. Let's increase the size, place this right over here. Maybe I'll go into the reveal and bring this down a bit, just a touch, so we have some nice spacing for our text. Set the kerning to 0. That is looking good. Now to add a nice animation for our text, what I can do is duplicate this reveal composition. So hit Ctrl D, put this on the top and change the track matte of the text to alpha matte. And also one more thing is we need to rotate this. So hit R and rotate this like so and place it right here. Maybe scale this down a bit. So we have a nice simple animation for our text as well. Maybe put this back a bit. Yep, there we go. And finally, I can add some nice small description about the story. So I'll just copy this description from here. Ctrl C to copy it. Go back into my main story. And for the font, I'll use a Nexa Bold, one of my favorite fonts. Bring down the size and let's paste the text. There we go, nice and small. Looking good. And the same exact thing I can do is, so now let's select the reveal comp, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, turn that on, bring this right over here, maybe increase the scale a bit, and change the track matte to alpha matte. So we have a nice reveal for our description as well. And there you go. There you have your nice looking Instagram story animation inside of After Effects using some very simple steps. Now, if you guys want to create Instagram stories in just one click, you can check out the Create pack from the Aloha Effects. They have some really cool collection of Instagram stories and those are very simple and easy to use. So all I have to do is just maybe I'll move the time indicator at the beginning and let's say I want to add this Instagram story. So I'll click on apply. And there you have your Instagram story in just one click. Also, customizing this story is super simple. I can go into the effects and control panel, select the control layer, and you get all the customizing option. Plus, you also get a swipe control using which you can select from different number of preset for the swipe up animation. So right now, the swipe up animation is set to 2. I can maybe select 11. And you can see we have a different design for the swipe up. So there are a number of different animations and design to choose from, and it's super simple to use and customize. So that is a wrap for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and always stay raw, stay creative. Peace out.